What's up, VK family? It's your boy Vital, and we appreciate you for joining us on another video on Vital's YouTube channel with Mr. Irish Productions behind the camera, as we always do. Welcome back, as always. Today we'll be doing a 4K early review of the Fear 3s. You can hear some of my opinions about its drop date, about how it looks, about its quality, all that fun stuff, right? But first, as we always do, a quick little update. If you've been watching us for a minute, you've been seeing us go from one really small sneaker room to a big boutique that I opened up this past year, Vital Chinatown. I'm always gonna promote it, so just follow that Instagram already, okay? Stop holding yourself back from knowing the best thing that's happened in Chicago in the past year. But that being said, now this is a brand new YouTube scene, all right? We just built this in the past month, which is why we took a little bit of a hiatus. I spoke about that on our last video that we posted, but nonetheless, here we are in a new space. Actually, I moved and I have a way bigger basement, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. And you'll see actually as our YouTube videos develop how we're gonna make this whole basement into like a YouTube modeling scene, on feet, all that fun stuff, okay? So look forward to it. But right now, guys, I just wanted to show you guys the new little setup, right? You can see a lot more sneakers than you have in the past, so definitely drop a comment if you think this is dope, if the lighting is cool. It's a little bit darker than our previous spaces, but I think it's quite fitting, especially considering we're in spooky season, October, and we're about to talk about the Fear 3s, right? So that being said, guys, I don't want to hold this back too far because there's lots of details and lots of unique things to talk about, but I just wanted to get some feedback on our new scenery, right? Do I look right here? Do I look a little bit taller? I hope so, okay? But that being said, guys, let's take a look at the Fear 3s. Okay, so before diving into the 4K details, because there's plenty to cover, as I said already, let's do a quick history lesson on the Fear 3s. I think a lot of the youngins don't really know that this is actually a retro and not some brand new colorway. The original Fear 3s first released in 2013, and it dropped with a pack called the Fear Pack with Jordan 4s and Jordan 5s all together. I'm not entirely sure if they all dropped on the same date or within the same season, but nonetheless, it was all part of a pack. The Fear 3s, however, were possibly one of the highest demand ones at that time, possibly with the 4s closely after. Nowadays that might change, right? Because the 4s are definitely a way more coveted, way more high demand silhouette than it used to be in the past. That's just my opinion, but nonetheless, the Fear 3s are definitely grounded in some history. We saw it in 2013, so this is our first time getting it in 10 years. Now, what's really interesting about this drop in itself is that it actually releases November 25th of this year. And that's super strange, right? Because one, Fear 3s is perfectly fitting for October and the spooky season. Why couldn't Jordan Brand put it up a month and it would make a lot more sense? Probably people would have a lot higher demand. Also, they're black and orange, which is perfect, again, for the Halloween season. And I haven't seen too many black and orange autumn kind of things drop this past month. So again, I think Jordan Brand made a weird decision, but maybe there's another reason that I don't know about why these are dropping November 25th instead of this month in October. So let me know or drop something in the comments if you know why, all right? But that being said, guys, that's why we're so blessed to have them early. We've had a full-size run that we've been selling out our boutique and also online, and now we're down to our last few pairs. So I'm sure many of the community agrees, like, hey, we need these for Halloween. And before we dive into the details, one little shameless plug, all right? I actually created this hoodie. Nobody knows about this hoodie right now at this point that I'm recording the video, but by the time we drop it, you will. And I made it perfectly to match the Fear 3s. So when I take it out, you'll see it, and this is actually releasing in the next week in our boutique, right? And it'll be online as well. So by the time you guys see it, this is our logo. By the time you guys see this video, it should be available, all right? So if you're like, yo, I need those Fear 3s, Vital rated it a blank at the end, and I totally agree, and I need the hoodie to match it, definitely shop with us and hang out with us, right? Or just shoot a DM. We got orange puffs, so come on, everybody loves the orange puff, right? One real quick thing though, before we dive in, is this is the friends and family version, okay? I haven't showed anyone yet except Mr. Irish Productions, obviously, but this is what we're dropping at our private event on Saturday, and just to create some contrast and something special for the people that attend our private events, right? So unfortunately, this one's not available online, but this one is way more plush, way more relaxed fit than this one, so I think you'd like it anyways, all right? But enough about the promotions, guys. I know what you came for, so let's dive into the Fear 3s. Starting off the box like we always do, guys. Looking at this, and if you've been watching our videos for a while, you already know I'm totally geeked out, right? Because I love when Jordan Brand just takes the extra step to do something with the box, because we know at this point in their brand life, they don't need to, right? And it's gonna sell out anyways. Sometimes they just kind of switch up one color on the box, as you might see behind me, but this one is purely a custom box that is based around the Fear 3s. So real quick, looking at the lid, we get most of it in a charcoal gray, a matte charcoal gray to be specific, because on top of it is going to be the black, shimmery, shiny, metallic looking letters, and it says, "And you're scared of what I could become," right? And I think it says another line on there as well. I can't say exactly what the full sentence is because it gets cut off at certain places, but I do know that the 2013 Fear 3s had this text or some type of saying on its insole, if not its heel. Remind me which one it is in the comments below, all right, guys? I'm not a sneaker dictionary, all right? I gotta do my research too. But nonetheless, instead of putting it on the insoles or the back, I'm kind of giving stuff away. We're not gonna see that. Instead, they just put it on the box, all right? So feel how you feel about it, but I appreciate it because when it comes to a display like this box is really gonna pop. Cool, right? On top of that, the very, very bright orange that also matches this very bright orange. I think the vinyl color was like highlight orange. On the box, they call it total orange, all right? So that total orange is gonna be popping out on top of this background, which is super cool. Just to wrap up the box, guys, another unique touch all around. You're gonna notice this isn't your regular Jordan 3 elephant print on a box. Instead, there's the darker elephant print all around on the upper part of that box, and then it fades into a grayish elephant print as you go down, and that's true all around. And when we dive into the sneakers details, which we're about to do right now, you'll see why they did that, all right? But enough, let's dive right in. Oh, and make sure you stick around to the end so that you can see them on feet, because trust, I got them as personal. Starting off with the sock liner like we always do, nothing new here when it comes to the Jordan 3s or the original Fear 3s that came out in 2013. All entirely nylon and all black, so it definitely doesn't add too much contrast so that total orange really pops on the rest of the sneaker. I like it. Taking a quick look at its insole, also very simplistic with the all black insole, only with the total orange Jumpman. That really makes it pop, even looking down. As we work our way down to the rest of the uppers, you're gonna notice the entirety of it is going to be in a short-haired suede. Not too many leathers here. This is a suede-based sneaker, all right? So some of you guys right now are gonna love it or hate it, so definitely put that in the comments. Are you more of a leather person when it comes to your 3s or a suede person? For me, as long as it's a cohesive look, I'm comfortable with either one, because both are quite luxurious when it comes to footwear, right? But one thing I'll point out is that there's actually two different textures when it comes to that suede. On the black, which is that panel immediately outside of the sock liner, it's gonna be a soft, short-haired suede. So when I run my finger across it, it definitely gives me a more buttery, more premium feel. Whereas on the rest of the uppers in that charcoal gray, it's gonna feel almost not hairy at all, a little bit tumbled, so it is that nubuck suede kind of mixture, right? But that in itself gives the sneaker a little bit of contrast on top of the contrasting colors, and I'm not mad at it. I think this material is more durable than the black short hair suede or the soft buttery suede, so they did that possibly strategically. And at the end of the day, it stays true to its OG model. As we go over the 4K details of that charcoal gray, which covers most of its uppers, you're gonna notice just how it shines differently, right? It's more of a matte finish compared to your regular leathers or your all suede, or even something like this where you have more of the nylon, right? So I think this in itself is very unique and not something we've seen on 3s, at least, more recently, right? So I'm not mad at it. I'm honestly not mad at it. Taking a look at the tongue, this is where we're also gonna start to see another hit of that short-haired black suede, so that it continues to create a contrast with that back heel tab and also some of the side panels which hold these eye stays. This suede is entirely in black, making that total orange embroidered Jumpman on the tongue pop more than it ever has. As you can see, this pair comes laced up in only black laces, and it doesn't come with any additional. I don't think the original did either, so I don't think we can be too mad at that. Okay, let's wrap up the uppers because I really want to get to the midsoles, which is possibly my favorite part of this pair of threes. Real quick, looking at the back heel tab, we get a charcoal gray, which matches most of its uppers, right? So it creates a very clean look. Again, with that orange, total orange, Jumpman Air popping out at us from the back heel. We're also gonna see total orange hits on the eye stays towards the top and the bottom, and of course, like we mentioned before, that Jumpman. Very strategic where they put the total orange on all of its uppers because most of it is a monotone sneaker, or at least holds very similar tones with the blacks to grays to slightly darker grays. The orange is strategic and it really makes certain parts of the sneaker pop. So I love it. And just on that same point, Jordan Brand was very selective with where they put these total hits of orange, right? It's not too much, because as you can see, most of the sneaker is gonna be in a black and gray. But they decided to put it towards the bottom of the eye stays, also at the top of the eye stays, and of course, that Jumpman that we just looked at, right? And just doing those few spots really makes this a clean sneaker. And if you wanted to show off more orange by popping the tongue, you could, or you could wear something baggier, and literally it's all gone besides that little bit right there. So I think there's lots of flexibility depending on what fits you like. But I think they were strategic, and I love the way the uppers look. So let's wrap it up by taking a close look at its elephant print. Looking at its elephant print, guys, nothing far from its original. It's definitely something you can feel, and it has that texture. Again, this time with its back heel tab and also the elephant print that wraps around its toe box, we are going to get all black with charcoal details. Okay, so now we're about to hit the midsole, and this is where I'm gonna have Mr. Irish Productions take some extra time definitely hitting those 4K details, because I think it's one of my favorite parts of this pair of Jordans, but it's also something really unique that we haven't seen on threes in quite some time, if not too many. I could be wrong, right? I maybe missed a colorway or two, but this specific detail, I go crazy over. So let me know what you think in the comments below. As we take a deep look in, you can see that unlike other Jordan 3s, it's not one solid color wrapping all around the sneaker. Every now and then we might get one where this front panel is one color and then that back panel is another color. But they did something really unique on this pair. It starts off with a charcoal gray on its outside, but as you start making its way to the back heel, it actually does a really gradual fade into a black. And that black wraps around its whole back heel before fading back into that charcoal gray on the other side. And just that detail in itself is absolutely dope, right? It doesn't create a hard cut like some of the other sneakers or threes might have in the past. I forget which one it was called, but there was one where that front panel was blue and that back panel was red and the rest of the sneaker was white, right? That was cool and all, but like that hard cut just kind of threw me off because I'm more used to, hello, I was wrong. The white cements also have the hard cut, right? But I'm more used to sneakers where it is all around, like the True Blue 3s, for example, which are somewhere behind me. So just seeing this not be a hard cut and then it fade into it, I just thought like, dude, not many 3s do that, if any, outside of this one. I'll call out the last thing that really adds to this detail as well. When you take a look at just the back heel, we're also seeing charcoal gray splatter marks. And I think that's dope, right? Because splatter marks is not something we see on the threes too much. Definitely a lot on the fours when it comes to the red cements, the black cements, the white cements, all the cements, right? But for them to add that to the Jordan 3, along with this fade, I think that is the most unique part about this sneaker and truly what I appreciate the most, right? So let me know what you think about that quality. And if you're like geeked out like I am, or you're like, Vital, come on, there's like 18 pairs and colorways that do that, which I could be wrong, so let me know. But that's why I really like this. Let's move on. Wrapping up the midsoles and all around below that fading or gradient changing mid panel that we just talked about is gonna be all pure white, all right? Not sail here, just the white, so it keeps it OG like the 2013 version, and it makes all the other colors pop once more. Something that also will pop because of this contrasting black and gray on top with the white is going to be this air bubble unit, which is also in that total orange, just to give a little bit of contrast and match to its uppers. So super cool in my book. Okay guys, let's wrap it up by looking at its outsole, and of course we're gonna end with our Vitals rating. diving right into the outsole, guys, nothing too special or unique here. No need to spend extra time on this because not too many people see it, right? So as you guys can see, the bottoms is all black with 2 hits of total orange, one near the toes, and then your Jordan Brand logo that runs towards the back heel. Definitely can't be mad at that because it matches the rest of the sneaker. So I just think this is totally cohesive and a great pair to own, especially early in the month of October, all right? Hit your boy up, hit your boy up. And so that is it on our...
What happened to the on feet?
Oh, you're totally right. Hold that thought. Let's see him on feet. So I know there's always a difference between seeing them in my hand in the close-up details versus seeing them on feet, right? You guys already know my opinion on them, but at this point, after seeing them being rocked and creased and all that fun stuff, definitely let us know if this is a must cop, like holy cow, I need those, they pop like crazy. Or it's like, okay, I saw them on feet, I'm cool with passing, all right? But that being said, guys, we are gonna end off our review as we always do. I think you guys already have an idea. I'm gonna put these on the higher end because I own them. But when it comes to the 2023 Fear 3s, I am going to give this a solid 8. Solid 8 out of 10, 80% of B-, right? Last time we reviewed the reimagined Royal Ones, and I gave it a 7.5. So this sits slightly above that as the next release that's gonna come. And I'll tell you why. I'm always gonna explain myself. One, I'm totally geeked out about the box and the midsole, and I just think it's a really cohesive sneaker. There's not too much orange in my collection that I would wear every day at least, right? I got the, oh, hello, let me do a quick flex. I got the shattered backboards, right? But I wouldn't wear this too often, right? So I think when it comes to black and orange Jordans, these are a nice flex without breaking the bank too much, right? So that's one big reason why I love them. 3s are also one of my favorite silhouettes, so it's gonna sit high on that rating no matter what. To be honest, I would have gave it an 8.5. I gave some thought into it. The sneaker in itself deserves an 8.5, but why I had to subtract that half point is because of its release date. Come on, Jordan Brand, like November 25th? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. This is a Halloween sneaker. You should have dropped it October, all right? So if it was in October, it would have been an 8.5. So if you care about my ratings at all, Jordan Brand, do better. Okay, Mr. Ice Productions. So you always catch me off guard with this one. Last time on the rolls, I think you rated a 5, which totally threw me off. So when it comes to the Fear 3s and all the cool details that we just talked about, huh? What is your rating?
It has to be an 8.
Oh, we agree. We agree. This is the first time. Everybody clap it up. Put some emojis in the chat box. I swear we didn't plan. This is the first time we agree. Why are you giving these an 8? That's pretty high for you.
That looks pretty nice. I mean, I guess it's just all the dark colors that, it's a single color, but I guess it's not the same like the royal blues.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? Like, these are a very simplistic sneaker. It does look like a single color, but that's why the fades and the changes from the charcoal gray to the black, like, just add those little extra eye catchers, right? What's your favorite part of the sneaker? Just curious.
The orange hits, of course.
Yeah, right. Really makes it pop. I can tell you like the quiet sneakers with just hits of pop, which totally makes sense given your style. So, guys, at this point, you're either in total agreement with me and Mr. Aisha Productions, or you're on the opposite end, right? So, we need your interaction, guys. As always, drop your comment. Let us know your ratings. Let us know what really pops out to you for this pair. Or at the end of the day, guys, just engage with us. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because we're pumping out these early reviews like crazy, all right? And we're gonna add a few more things to our arsenal now that we got the new space, okay? That being said, guys, we appreciate you as always, and we'll catch you in the next video, VK family.